glad you're still with us because I think this is going to be very interesting for you to hear. I'm here with Dr.
Brad Friedman.
Thank you. And you're a pediatric cardiologist?
That's correct.
Is that right?
Yep.
I know there's a lot of issues dealing with heart issues in kids, but the one we want to focus on today is one I don't think hits anybody's horizon. They just don't really even think about it. Mm-hmm. That kids could have heart issues because of diet and things that could be prevented that drive them here. Tell me a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about that. What do you see?
Well, I think that it's a tremendous issue that you bring up, and a very important one. I think something that people don't realize is that kids that are born today are actually forecast to live a shorter lifespan than their parents.
With today's technology, that should be unheard of. That
Right.
should not be the case. And this
Yeah.
was really surprising when we started doing the piece that folks were watching. To hear this was one of the most surprising things that we learned. If I think of a heart issue, I think 50, 60, 70, yeah, that's when you start thinking about it.
Right.
Not so.
Right, and we're just starting to understand that, and the adults are way ahead of the pediatric knowledge base about this issue, but it's becoming more recognized. New guidelines are out about the importance of screening children for the risk factors that cause atherosclerosis or plaque in the arteries that lead to heart attacks in early life sometimes, in early adulthood. Those risk factors are high blood pressure, cholesterol problems, or what I like to call lipidology or dyslipidemia.
Okay, no, whoa.
Okay.
We got to talk about lipidology.
Right.
That sounds like the study of lipids, but what is that? What is that? What's a lipid?
Well, a lipid is basically a cholesterol particle. Yeah, and that's what everybody understands is cholesterol.
That's
what
the
we're
word.
talking about.
Everybody, thank goodness now, is on everybody's radar is cholesterol. I think people know it's not good. I need to keep it low. There's a number for adults.
Right.
But cholesterol in kids, you don't even think about that. That's something you shouldn't have to worry about. But you're saying there's a study of that, and you're a specialist in that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I've studied an extra year or so in the study of cholesterol, and there's an exam that people take to prove that they're knowledgeable enough to treat people with cholesterol problems, and I've gone ahead and done that, and more people in pediatrics are getting into that and understanding that it's important. And I felt that was important because the guidelines now state that they want to screen every single kid between 9 and 11 years old should have their cholesterol checked.
Wow. And they're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing that. What are you finding?
Well, we're finding a couple of things. The primary reason for doing this is because we want to find that 1 out of every 50 to 500 kids who has a genetic problem with their cholesterol, which means that they have a genetic issue which makes their cholesterol level extremely high. Hereditary. That's right. Okay. So if we can find that in those kids and treat those children, we may save years and years, if not decades, off their life, treating them early for their cholesterol problems.
Right. Well, I can say the 2 case studies that folks have been watching with this episode,
right.
If you could have caught both of those guys, they both had hereditary cholesterol issues.
Right. And that's what we want to catch.
Right.
That's the primary thing. And the important thing to know about that is it doesn't have to be that somebody's overweight necessarily, or have other external factors that make it obvious that they're at risk. They could still have a major problem.
Because if kids are just eating the diet they watch on television, they're going to have cholesterol issues, even probably if they're not hereditary issues. They're just from eating that stuff.
Right, and that's the second main population. We know about the obesity epidemic, and overweight epidemic in this country. Western North Carolina is certainly not immune to that. They're one of the worst, unfortunately. We're trying to get better with that. But the obesity problem affects children markedly more actually than adults percentage-wise. The percentage of overweight and obese children is increasing faster than even our adult population. So with that come the problems of high blood pressure and cholesterol and diabetes and those types of things.
But if you could catch it there, you can stop it for a lifetime in many
Absolutely.
cases.
Absolutely. So that's why we preach early intervention and detection in addressing these problems as early as we can.
Now, two things I want to make sure that we cover. What is Mission doing along these lines? They've got you.
Right.
You're working here, so that's one of them.
Yeah.
We're attuned to it. We're attuned to it. That's a huge piece.
Right.
We're attuned to it.
Right. Yeah, so I guess the biggest thing that Mission's doing is bringing physicians with the knowledge base to deal with these issues and trying to educate the community at large, educate them, one, about the issues that it's there, and then also how to address it in a community sense.
Right, so they've seen it coming, and now they're addressing it. What do you do? What are some of the things that you tell folks to prevent, tell parents, you know, you've got a 9-year-old who has high cholesterol. Oh my goodness.
Right, right.
What do you do?
So some of the major things are the first steps that we do are try to address diet and exercise. You know, lifestyle modifications. So try to eat healthier, avoid the sodas, the regular sodas, avoid the fatty foods. Don't go to fast food restaurants if you can help that. Don't get the French fries if you're going to the fast food restaurant. So that sort of thing. Try to modify diet, and then also increase exercise.
Get out and run around.
Get out and run around. We all know that's good for us, but it really does change our body chemistry and can change some of the blood pressure issues and then also the cholesterol.
So the things that we've heard for adults, it's for everybody.
Absolutely.
You don't wait till you're 25 to start looking at your cholesterol number.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. We're too smart for that now. We are seeing issues with obesity, though, that's not necessarily causing them to have cardiac bypass surgeries or open heart surgeries, but they're having to have orthopedic issues. They're having to they can't sleep at night because of the obstruction of their airways. They have to take medications every day because of diabetes and other things.
And this is shortening that life that you talked about at the beginning, where you're seeing their lifespan's not as great, maybe even as their parents.
Absolutely.
For some of these issues.
Yep, and all of our technology and everything we can do and all of our knowledge, it won't translate into a healthier population unless we make lifestyle changes at the beginning and we use our knowledge to screen people that have genetic problems and find out issues and then address those issues early.
So would you think that parents that may be watching this and have a 9 to 11-year-old or a teenager, should they be screened for their cholesterol? Should they get their cholesterol checked? Because I think most people in their head don't think, I need to check that till maybe they're 35.
Right. If they wait till they're 35 and they have a genetic abnormality that causes them to have high cholesterol, they could have a heart attack by the time they're 35.
That's true.
Okay, so yes, absolutely, and it's not just coming from me. The American Academy of Pediatric suggests this. All of the major cholesterol organizations suggest this, and it's a simple blood test. If we can add decades to people's lives and avoid procedures and heart catheterizations and open heart surgery by just figuring out which individuals have this issue,
Right.
I think it's worth a little blood test.
Again, I need to know your numbers.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Every age.